Hello and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today I'm going to talk about how the perimenopause and menopause can affect your hair. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. So a lot of you get in touch with me because you're worried about your hair, the things that are happening to your hair. So it's a really common issue, and they reckon that probably about 40% of women will have some kind of problem with their hair during the perimenopause and menopause. So it's a huge group, and hair is really important for us, isn't it? It's our crowning glory. You know, we know what happens when we have a bad hair day. The whole world goes to pot. And hair is very important for our self-image, for our confidence, for the way we feel about ourselves generally. But is it all due to the perimenopause and menopause itself? So I'm going to look at what can happen with your hair at this particular time and what you can do to help yourself. So the changes you might expect would be things like you notice your hair getting a lot thinner, maybe it's losing its bounce, it's starting to break or get brittle. You might find that it's really slow growing, whereas before, your hair might have grown quite quickly. You might find that there's more hair coming out in your brush and your comb or on your pillow on the shower. You may also find you sort of get patches somewhere so that hair gets really, really thin. The colour can change, your hair can go dry, you can get dandruff, itchy scalp. You can get wiry hair. Your hair can suddenly go totally out of control or frizzy, and that there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. So we do know there does seem to be some link between falling estrogen and hair loss, but it's more to do with overall what's happening to our body when we're losing the hormones. So it's not necessarily just low estrogen or low progesterone or low testosterone that's causing problems with the hair. So it can be stress, and that's a huge, huge issue in the perimenopause and menopause. If you think about it, most of us are stressed anyway, just with daily life and worrying about everything that's going on in the world and our own lives and at work as well. And if you then add the stress of the menopause and the hormonal changes on top of that, our body can basically become overwhelmed, and that in itself will have quite a big impact on hair growth. Diet, absolutely vital here. If you think about it, our hair and our nails are sort of bodily adornments, if you like. So our hair and our nails are not necessary for keeping us alive. So if our nutritional needs are not being met, and they go sky high when your hormones start to change. So if you're not getting enough nutrition generally, your body is going to use what it gets on the really important things, which means there's nothing left for your hair or your nails. And it can be sometimes just something so simple as a little bit of nutritional deficiency going on that impacts on your hair. Your protein needs go up quite dramatically too. If you imagine all the physical changes are going on, and protein is the building blocks of our bodies basically. And if we're not getting enough protein, again, your body is going to use what it gets for day-to-day maintenance, and your hair and things like your nails are just going to be completely ignored. Can be liver, and believe it or not, the liver plays quite an important part in hair growth. And we know that when all the hormonal changes are going on, day-to-day life, poor diet, maybe just a little bit too much alcohol, general stress, all of these things can impact on liver function. And again, the liver is the regulator of your health. You can't survive without a liver. So your liver does a huge number of different processes to protect you during every single day of your life. And if the liver's under that little bit of pressure, again, it's going to focus on the things that are really important. And hair growth that's not really important at all. So again, the liver can be a factor here too. Something simple as dehydration, especially if you get really dry hair, if your scalp's really dry as well, could be just something as simple as lack of water. Interestingly enough, I was reading somewhere that said that greasy hair can also be caused by dehydration. So if you find your hair's getting really greasy, what the scalp does is that if your hair is getting really greasy and really dry, and your scalp's getting dry, the hair follicles will produce more oil just to protect it. So just be aware if your hair starts to suddenly get very greasy, to have a look at what your water intake is on a daily basis. So what can you do to help yourself? Lots of really easy things to do here. Watch the water, loads of dehydration, check over your diet. Are you getting enough of everything? So make sure you get a really good varied diet. The more different foods you eat each day, the more likely you are to get all the nutrients that your body needs at this time. Make sure you're getting protein with each meal. If you're vegetarian or vegan, or you're just not very keen on too much protein, you can go for what's called a plant powder protein drink. These can be really helpful. And again, if you're one of these people that hates breakfast, you can just have a protein powder drink, and that can keep you going really, really well. You can look at getting some kind of hair complex. Your local health food shop will have a whole range of products that are specifically for hair growth. For myself, I tend to go for things like MSM and also silica products. Over the years, I found both of those have really helped to keep my hair as healthy as possible. Another thing is that if you are going on a calorie restricted diet, if you feel that you're needing to watch your weight, again, you may find that your hair will change because of that. Because if you're really restricting your calories, there's not going to be enough left over for your hair. Maybe do a little liver detox. They can be really helpful. Even general fatigue can be caused by a stressful liver. So taking herbs such as dandelion or artichoke, maybe over a couple of months, can often be really helpful. One really, really important thing about hair loss is that there can be other health issues can creep in at the perimenopause and menopause and be a direct trigger for hair loss. So this is why, don't just blame everything on the menopause. So we know that vitamin D or B12 deficiency, anemia, especially if you've been having heavy periods in the perimenopause, thyroid imbalance, you can end up with an underactive thyroid. So all of these can cause hair loss or affect your hair. And especially if you're losing your eyebrows as well, and maybe you find that your eyelashes are disappearing, that's very often an indication of underactive thyroid. So it's always a good idea if you find that changing your diet, taking supplements, and usually you would start to notice a difference maybe after a month or two. So nothing here is a quick fix. But if you find nothing is working, then it's a really good idea to go to your doctor, explain about the hair loss, and just ask for these tests just to rule them out. So I hope you found this one helpful. It's, our hair is, as mentioned before, it's such an important part of who we are. What a lot of you do tell me is that if you notice your hair is changing, you sometimes think it's a good idea for a makeover. I've had people say they've had long hair all their life. Suddenly it just doesn't look right anymore. They've gone for a really short cut and they love it. So if you find that your hair is changing in some way, don't be afraid to take a step and have a bit of a makeover. And I do it every so often just for changes. If you have any hair stories, what have you done? Have you changed your look? Have you gone really dramatic? Have you found that certain things have helped with your hair growth? Please share your stories. I love to read all about them. Have a lovely week and I'll see you soon.